How's it going, folks? So I'm going to be responding to somebody in the comment section. As you guys know, I'm very much so a freedom of speech type of guy. I like to read the comments and I like to respond to the comments, unlike many of the gun controllers who a lot of them don't even have the comment section open. Or if they're another person on YouTube and they have a video in favor of gun control, they tend to very quickly close off the comment section. I, on the other hand, do not do that. I hear people's opinions of what they have to say, and sometimes I respond to them, as in the case where I'm doing with this individual right now that I'm responding to, and you know who you are. So, let's start off with the first point. The one that, you seem to not want to let go, and that's Ted Cruz's birth name. And the fact of the matter is you're making a big deal out of it when it's really not a big deal. But on the inverse, let's talk about Francis, aka Beto. you know, I don't hear you chiding him for essentially using a name that's not his birth name. For him pretending as if he was some Hispanic, which he really does come off as that fucking suburb kid who likes to pretend like they're ghetto. you know. But the fact of the matter is that you're sticking with stuff like this that has no bearing on the issue of what I discussed in the video you're responding to, just simply to poison the well. Much like your statement about the donations that Ted received from, well, Second Amendment lobbyists, let's put it that way, gun rights advocates. Because a lot of the stuff you claim simply comes from the gun industry tends to come from individual donors. And a lot of the numbers at your side of the aisle likes to put like donations from stuff like Midway USA, that has a donation portion to the NRA, or at least did have it. A lot of the donations come from individual buyers who are just throwing additional money in with their purchase to the NRA. And this whole bringing up of the money thing to begin with is, quite frankly, another attempt at your side of the aisle attempting to poison the well. And it's another attempt at your side of the aisle trying to make rules for other people that your side of the aisle does not follow. You seem to be silent about people like Michael Bloomberg donating $50 million at one time to a group called Moms Demand Action. You tend to be silent about people like Bill Gates donating $1 million to a gun control initiative. Yeah, it does really seem like you guys act as if it's okay when your side does it, but then, want to use that to poison the well when people like me donate money. And by the way, I haven't donated any money to the NRA in a while. I figured the NRA has been a waste of my money. I donate to groups such as FPC and GOA. They seem to be spending the money a lot better than the NRA does. But your side of the aisle, they do this to simply try to deny that there are people in this country, in fact, actually a greater number, who actually do give a damn about being able to exercise what is a constitutionally protected right, from some degree to another. Your side of the aisle, the fact that they go there and heckle Ted Cruz, that they have the gall to sit there when Ted Cruz is proposing a solution that does not involve another gun law, to go there and say, well, no, that's bad. You should stop that. And let's continue to exploit these things to pass more gun laws. That's what you're doing. You're trying to deny my side of the aisle our basic fucking representation. Now, why didn't you mention the $50 million that Moms Demand Action got from Michael Bloomberg, since you want to play that game? And yes, you are trying to be a jerk. Things like lying, things like playing these petulant games, that's stuff a jerk would do. I understand a jerk is a subjective term, but guess what? You have fallen, quite frankly, into that category. So, continuing on, the whole 18 to 20-year-olds being able to, quote, purchase an assault rifle. That is not true. That is an outright lie. Assault rifles are NFA Title II items. What you're talking about is an AR-15, which is not an assault rifle. You're talking about stuff like the Wasser 10s, basically stuff that lack the features that make them an assault rifle. Assault rifles have been heavily restricted since before the concept was created. It's called the NFA of 1934. And yes, you have to be 21, by the way, before you can even consider getting an NFA item. Furthermore, assault rifles are virtually prohibited for the average person. But again, if you knew what you were talking about, or if you wanted to be honest about what you're talking about, one of the two, you would have to admit that 18 to 21-year-olds aren't getting assault rifles. Well, they're not legally getting assault rifles if they do. What you're talking about is moving the goalpost yet again. You were saying, well, the current prohibitions, the current concessions, you guys gave us weren't good enough. And, we said that, this was a compromise and that we weren't going any further. Well, you never said you weren't going any further, but, there were tons of FUDs who sat there and said, well, if we don't give them something, they're going to keep going, which is, quite frankly, the opposite of the truth. Any little concession we make to your side of the aisle in regards to our freedoms is only encouraging your side of the aisle to do more and to go for more. That cat's been let out of the bag a number of times, by the way, by your side. But anyway, this whole 18 to 20-year-olds not being able to buy long guns, which is what your side is demanding. Well, you know what? No. We've had too many gun laws. Now it is actually time to stop it. It is time to, quite frankly, repeal all of these unconstitutional gun laws. They haven't saved lives. They haven't done what your side of the aisle has promised. And all your side of the aisle has done is kick and scream and demand more gun laws. I don't care that you spent most of your life shooting ARs, AKs, etc. Anytime somebody sits there and says, well, I'm into guns, but, well, to me, that's just somebody saying, at best, guns for me, but not for anybody else who I disapprove of. So, with that being said, 18 to 20-year-olds, you going to raise that age to 21 for voting? I didn't think so. In fact, many people who want to raise the age for long gun purchases from 18 to 21 are the very same people who want 16-year-olds to vote. Tell me how that works out. Tell me how, you think they're too irresponsible to own a firearm and then turn around and think that they have the responsibility to vote. Yeah, your side of the aisle is lying. This is just an excuse to push another restriction to try to keep more people from owning firearms. Your side of the aisle, by the way, does not give a damn about responsibility. In fact, you want the most irresponsible people you can get voting, because that's the only way your side of the aisle has a shot, is when irresponsible people vote. You are partisan. You're not nonpartisan in this one. your statement speaks to the contrary. And the fact that you will sit there and say something like that, but I'm nonpartisan, you know, just with the previous comment alone, and then go, I'm nonpartisan, that's an outright lie. Don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. You're 50 years old, then you should know better than to do that. If you're 50 years old, you're a very immature 50-year-old. And the fact that you keep on with the topic of Ted Cruz's birth name as another example. Onto your little comment about gun free-for-all. Well, the fact of the matter is that everything I've said so far in this video just proves that to be an outright lie too. I mean, the fact of the matter that we have the gun laws we do in this country. No, this country is not a gun free-for-all. You know, we are a bit more permissive than other countries in most respects because, you know, we actually allow the average citizen to have the opportunity to be able to purchase most types of firearms in most states. But your idea of a gun not free for all seems to be where, you know, the average citizen is either prohibited virtually or fucking outright prohibited from owning a firearm. You know, this is why there's not a civil discussion on this topic in this country, because people on your side of the aisle want to be petulant, you want to be dishonest, you want to keep moving the goalpost. You know, you talk about wanting a civil discussion, then block people, or, you know, engage in uncivil behavior such as what you just did with this comment section. You know, and the original point was, with the previous video, not Ted Cruz's birth name, but the fact of the matter is that Ted Cruz did bring up other ways to at least mitigate and possibly stop mass killings, but your side of the aisle didn't want to hear them. Your side of the aisle wanted to sit there and continue to push these, use these mass killings, exploit these dead children to push your agenda. That's disgusting. All right. Thank y'all for watching. Y'all take her easy out there and have a great day.